Father!
We first met Shenmue's Ryo Hazuki in 1999 when Landy killed Hazuki-sensei and beat the crap out of his son in the process.
Why?
Which, when you think about it, means Ryo has been wearing the same plaster on his face for the better part of 20 years. That's disgusting. Anyway, even though I never ever thought it was going to see the light of day and made a weird choking noise like I might cry when it was announced, Shenmue 3 is actually happening, which is amazing. I mean, at least I think it's amazing. Crowdfunding is a strange beast, and I'm not sure it's the best vehicle to deliver a game like Shenmue 3. Yu Suzuki said he needs $10 million to realise his creative vision, but the Kickstarter is looking likely to close out at around half that figure. I'm not worried he's necessarily going to make a bad game, but I am worried he won't preserve some of the key franchise elements that make Shenmue what Shenmue is. First of which is the pacing. My fondest memories of Shenmue come from the quieter moments, when you're wandering between places, chasing down minor clues, looking for some sailors, or just heading out somewhere after work.
They might have been the ones who murdered my father.
Your father?
Shenmue is a mystery that very gently unfolds. I really hope Suzuki doesn't feel pressured into modernising the gameplay experience, leading Ryo from one explosive encounter to the next. Which leads me neatly to the idea of practice. Yu Suzuki already said in the Kickstarter pitch video that move scrolls can basically be pushed directly into Ryo's squidgy grey matter, making for a more seamless experience that negates the need for practice, which I honestly found a little disappointing. I absolutely loved trying to learn a new move and getting it wrong until the Dreamcast Visual Memory Unit prompted me with the correct button presses. It's also surprisingly integral to the story. Andy Kelly, a man who is smarter than me, put it very succinctly on Twitter recently while replaying Shenmue. Practicing the same move over and over again, in the rain, all alone, reflects how driven Ryo is by revenge. It's powerful and totally skippable all at once, and I'll be sad if all of that goes away. Shenmue shines in the little pieces of ephemera as much as it does in the big set pieces. Speaking of which, I really hope Ryo has to get a menial job. Again.
I want a job here.
When I first had to get a job in Shenmue, driving a forklift down the docks, I was fairly irritated. Why have they put a repetitive minigame in my way as the only way to advance the story? I whined like an 11-year-old. Which is what I was. But, and I suspect this is the same for a lot of people, driving that forklift was actually one of the more memorable experiences in Shenmue. Mechanically, it was surprisingly fun, and it actually gave me a sense of satisfaction ferrying a record number of crates from warehouse to warehouse. Running a pachinko board or carrying books into the courtyard in Shenmue II, that was less fun, but still oddly invigorating. I really hope Ryo will have to earn some scratch at some point in Shenmue 3, but unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure this one's gonna happen. A part-time job is the $9 million stretch goal for the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter, and that's, well, yeah, probably not gonna happen. Next, and I can't quite believe I'm saying this, I really hope Shenmue 3 has some QuickTime events. And I hate QuickTime events with every fibre in my being. They're a lazy way of advancing a story and I wish they'd go away, but in Shenmue, I just like them. Maybe it's the noise they make or the fact they were mostly used in chase sequences and really brief fistfights, but they were just fun. Shenmue is the one franchise in which I tolerate QuickTime events, and I really hope they don't go away for the third one. And finally, even though there's probably no need to stick him in, especially since he got knocked into the sea at the end of the first Shenmue and never came back, but I really hope the Great Chai is in Shenmue 3. Simply put, he's my favourite, the weird waistcoat sporting bastard. Anyway, those are the elements I really hope get preserved for Shenmue 3, but if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, let me know in the comments.
Telling horses when to poop, tactically, with Metal Gear Solid 5.
And playing football with, rocket cars. Sorry, did you say telling horses when to poop?
Yeah, you know, making them crap on command.
No, I don't know, actually.